Hello, I'm Whitney Ortiz with Whole Health Self-Care. Thank you for being with us for the Whole Health series. This series convenes women leaders from around the world who share tips, tools, and strategies for how today's women professionals can feel better, enjoy a greater quality of life, and have enhanced capacity to be able to lead with compassion, both at work and at home. I'm so pleased Dr. Elva Anderson is with us. Dr. Anderson
Hi.
is an award-winning holistic practitioner who leads trainings, workshops, and individual sessions on mental health care, wellness, and expressive therapies. She is certified in various healing modalities, such as mindfulness, meditation, reflexology, and laughter yoga. Dr. Anderson has worked with organizations like the Smithsonian Institute, the U.S. Department of the Interior, George Washington University's Art Therapy Graduate Program, the American Art Therapy Association, Howard University, the National American Drama Therapy Association, the American Psychological Association, hospitals, residential health centers, and many others. Dr. Anderson's been featured on NBC and ABC and in the Washingtonian Magazine and the Washington Post. Thank you so much, Elva, for being here and a part of this series.
Thank you, Whitney. It's great to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
I'd love to start our conversation learning more about what drew you originally to art.
Well, Whitney, what really drew me to art is that as a child, I lived on a farm, with my family. And of course, we had the daily routine of gardening and plants and hard work in school. But I do believe it was just an art class in an elementary school and having the formative materials that most children are blessed to get were like crayons. And I remember a teacher telling me, "Oh my gosh, you have a talent." And, with a young not mind, it was really great to hear someone see something that you just do just off the top of your head and praise you for it. So by getting that comment from the teacher, it gave me a sense of empowerment other than the farm, the schoolwork. And so I continued to do it. It was just like a God given talent. I was blessed with having the ability to look at something and recreate it in my own way of seeing it, my perception.
And you carried that forward through your life and your profession. How do you see art as therapy?
Well, it's funny you said that. So I continued to use art. I even majored undergrad in art. And what I found is that even through trials and tribulations as a student in high school or even in my college years, even now, I go to art. And so I saw that there was benefits using just simple things, paper, pen and ink, watercolor. And I felt a sense of relief. I felt that I was giving something back. Even if I was not giving it to someone, I was giving it back to myself. And so that's my belief when I decided to go and further my education with several degrees with art and the creative process and creativity because it's so powerful. And when I say art, I'm not just limiting myself to the visual arts, but also in dance, movement, music, poetry. I love poetry. Theater, love theater. So all these things I love and have a passion about. And I figured if little old me, back on a farm could have the ability to use such a great thing as art to heal, to find some type of self empowerment, then it could work for others. And it has.
It sounds like it's very nourishing for yourself, and others have nourished you by the support that they've given to allow you to thrive and let that inner skill really unfold to share with the world. How have you been utilizing art through your career to be of service to others? And primarily talking about women, adult women, and those who are going through or have experienced tremendous traumas, hardships, difficulties. how do you frame art as a way that can help?
Well, the beautiful thing about art is that it can reach any age, any population, any gender, any religion, culture. Um, it's a language that's universal. And how I cater it towards women or girls or anyone who feel the need to use art is that I allow them to say to me, they may say to me, I don't feel like doing art, or I don't feel like talking about anything. And then I can say, can I just sit with you? And maybe I write what you talk about. And then I can just write what they talk about and then read it back to them. And they're like, did I say that? And I formulate it in a way that it's poetry to their own ears, their own words. And then eventually they could see that it's very non-invasive. It's something that they can just do without having any type of degree or certification in, and then get some sense of relief. And so with women and young girls or any gender um, or age, I find that art is a bridge. It's a way that you can connect to another person, be
Mm.
it through movement, be it through song, or even be it through the rhythm of a drum. I've used all different type of modalities, and I do just love the fact that I can reach to others in a language that we all speak.
Mm. Wow, that is beautiful. And when you, and I mentioned women specifically as our main audience here. However, these principles, these practices, as you say, are applicable. And where there are ways to use art or to think about art, no matter the cost that or the resources that you may have or the location where you live. And it sounds to me as you are saying this, that deep connection within ourselves that you help guide people to.
Yes, and I know our audience is women, but as women, we are always involved in others' lives. And so, my first thing is that I would say to any woman listening to this is that first we have to find out what is our intention that we're trying to resolve or reach through the art. And so, for example, I know that as women, we have magazines usually lying around the house. And sometimes we get a subscription to magazines and or even calendars for that matter of fact. And we just may not want to get rid of the beautiful words or images or phrases that we see. And so a good starting point for anyone who wants to do art as therapy is to maybe get a magazine, a glue stick, and they can start with a normal copy paper and get some scissors and cut out some words that maybe touch their heart. Um, get some scissors and cut out an image of a beautiful scene of maybe where they would like to go or to be at that moment. I mean, we're in very uncertain times right now. And so, in any times that we're um, dealing with any highs and lows in our lives, sometimes we don't even know what's happening next. And so, with that cutting of the paper, there's a sense of relaxation to find a comfortable spot, have the intention of maybe putting on some nice music to listen to, having the intention of maybe having a little tea or a smoothie of water, a coffee beside them, and then set aside a time. Maybe it's for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour, but set aside a time because when you get into the creative process, you're going to want to spend more time with it. Not to be rushed, not to maybe be interrupted, maybe put a little sign on the door, a little note, or let your family know that you're going to be doing something creative and to find some time for yourself. And
Mhm.
as you continue to cut and get the words and the images, it may grow to a bigger size. And if so, then you can get a bigger resource, be it like cardboard. And it's not really expensive, it's cost effective. And so, art as therapy that way and I have something to show, is that if someone wanted to do a vision board with words or images, they can create something like that. And next thing you know, time has passed by and you have something, a gift to yourself, not
Mhm.
only through the benefits of healing and self-empowerment, or reducing the stress that you may be going through, the anxiety that you're going through. You can then look at it and reflect back like, oh, one, I made that. Two, it took my mind away from maybe some stress or anxiety or worry or fear or rage, whatever the feeling may be that comes up. And then they can have it and reflect back on it. So art therapy, art as therapy, the creative process, whatever you wish to call it, it's to really to get a sense of self. I keep saying self-empowerment, but because it's really what you're doing. It's like finding a sense of self-care, self-worth, self-reflection. And as women, we tend not to do that because we're nurturers. We give back to others. And
Mhm.
so it's really something that I say it's important that we're, as women, that we do.
Mhm. And when we allow that space to form and be a regular part of our days, we
Mm-hmm.
are also giving the example to others, the permission that they too can use art to process and to get into a creative space. And for the women who are watching, who are heads of organizations and businesses and firms, if even to allow employees to incorporate art within their day as a way to start generating ideas, new thoughts can come that will lead to innovation.
It's
And we
like
all moving
brainstorming.
forward,
Yes.
yes, innovation, new ways of doing things, new structures, new systems. So art
Yes.
can be that pathway.
It's a gateway. It opens up and so much comes out. It's even
Mhm.
though to some people it may seem like time consuming, it really clears your mind to allow these new innovative ways of thinking and working with one another at work or be it at home, with each other. Yes.
And it's team building as well within companies and organizations to just gather around a table, and whether or not they have magazines, if it's just paper and a pencil, they could
Yes.
sketch, they could just quietly be together.
Yes. And
And
you know, the team building thing with that, Whitney, is that you can do the vision board, the collage. You can do even a quick scribble drawing, hand it to one of your colleagues at work or even at home with your children, and
Mhm.
then say, what do you see in that scribble? And they can look at it and turn the paper around to see what they see. And it brings a sense of communication and
Mm.
discussion, as well as laughter. You know, you mentioned the laughter yoga there, and laughter is very important. I know we're not doing too much of it sometimes when we get, really busy and our workload gets stressful, but laughter can really also soothe the soul also.
Mhm. Yes, I'd love to get into the laughter yoga that you lead. Before doing that, if you wouldn't mind sharing how,
Yeah.
for the mothers out there, how they can use art as a launching pad for conversation, for helping their children, or for the professionals who work with and for children to use art as a way to help the children process emotion, work through challenges that are within themselves or the traumas that they experience or have experienced regularly. And then without any real training, are there ways that they can interpret what they find the child expressing through whatever form of art to know when to access additional support and expertise?
Well, the thing is, when you're doing it at home and you're maybe not certified in it or have advanced degrees in art therapy, it's always best not to interpret yourself.
Mm.
You want the child or the person who did the drawing or the artwork of the movement to share with you what they felt.
Mm.
That's the number one way of interpretation, is to get it from the person themselves. How did that make you feel?
Yeah.
What are you feeling? How was it different from when you started to now when you have completed this, drawing or this movement or this musical instrument that you play, right? Or this poetry that you've written, or even role playing sometimes. Sometimes role playing with uh, puppets, little stuffed animals, or even our little fingers. You can have the fingers talk to each other and
Mhm.
just have a conversation that way. Maybe, a parent is having some stressful time with a child and having ways of difficult ways of communicating. You can just open the conversation to say, can we just talk with our fingers with each other, or get a little stuffed animal and start communicating. Or if you were someone else, what would you say to me, or what could you say to me? These are things that you can do. And I think what you're asking is to see if your child or someone needs professional help. Then if someone does, I always say, please get it. Definitely do not hesitate with any type of therapy or counseling, talking to someone.
Mhm.
It's very important.
And to really use their instincts to know based on what they see is being expressed by the child through whatever art form to really get the additional
Absolutely.
help when is needed. And I really appreciate how you bring forth the joy that art can bring into
Mhm.
circumstances, the lightness, and where we need so much of that sometimes. And if you can connect us to the laughter therapy,
Mhm.
how you have laughter yoga, sorry, as a additional offering that
Well,
you.
I have a sense of humor. It may be a little whimsical, quirky to others, but I think that approach, that lighthearted approach, helps to get closer to someone. But also, when you have heaviness on your heart, sometimes others may not want to laugh. And so, just so simple things to do. You can even do gibberish. Like if someone says, I don't want to talk, then you can say, well, we just talk gibberish. And you go, boo ba ba da doo boo doo, right? And then you talk gibberish back to me. And then the next thing you know, a smile comes in your face, like right now. And then we're talking gibberish. We can have our own made up language. And
Mhm.
so someone may have something really heavy to say, but don't want to use words. And they can use a gibberish to really let you know, "Buddha bada bada ja," that they're so angry that they could say it that way. I mean, you have so many ways of doing it. And that's the beautiful thing about the creative process, creativity, finding a sense of imagination is always there, all power to the imagination, as Einstein has said, right? And so you want to use your imagination. These are times when we were spending time with our families, more time with our families, maybe more time with our coworkers. I know I'm an essential worker, at a hospital, so we're spending more time with our coworkers, and so we have to have a sense of lightness.
Mhm.
Just the other day, I had one of those blue caps on, and I said, y'all like my new hairdo? And everyone just started laughing, but you could feel a tenseness, a really heaviness. The energy was heavy. And then another worker had like one of those blue caps on too. And I said, oh, I see you went to the same stylist. And we just laughed and thought it was so fun. And another woman said, oh, I'm going to have to go to the same stylist soon. And so, it was very contagious, and
Mhm.
the laughter just brought a sense of relief. And then someone pulled me aside and said, thank you. I really needed that. Thank you. That, just laughing. And that was not, you know, a session for laughter therapy. It wasn't something that, was planned, or a workshop, or, a class. It was just something that was impromptu that came up. And, I just love laughter. I think that sometimes it just does break down some things where you can feel really heavy and just look at something, be it your artwork or a child's artwork, and just laugh together. Look at that scribble and laugh together and find that moment. And so when I started off this afternoon about the intention, your intention can be, how can I break down walls? not only with others, but also break down walls within myself.
Mhm.
How can I just peel back layers of maybe month after month, week after week, day after day, hour after hour that is upon me and on my shoulders and my chest and my head, and it's so heavy. And so, we have the laughter, but then also that's free. And we have the breath, which is free too. And so, in my work that I work with groups and individuals, I go into also mindful meditation, mindful breathing. I always share with young people to take in a calm breath. If you could bring in a calm breath, feel that calm breath, that moment. Maybe take the hand and put it on your chest, your heart space. Maybe take your hand and put it on your belly to do some belly breathing. But just take that moment, figure out what your intention is in that moment, because that's all we have, Whitney, is that moment, right? In this moment.
Yeah.
And then see what we're feeling in our body. And in that breath, maybe do a body scan by wiggling the toes. Or how are your legs feeling? Your lower back or your upper back, or your arms and fingers. How is that feeling? How is your heart space feeling? Your throat. And you do the whole body scan of the head. And then I ask also them to do this before I start any art. Before I start any art group or session or anything, I always want to say, get in a comfortable position. Find that sanctuary within your space right here. That's all we have right now.
Yeah.
And find that space. Find your intention of maybe, I want to let go of some of this. I want to connect with someone. Or I
Mhm.
want to find something, what's eating at me right now, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
And then once you find that intention, you don't have to do any more contemplation with that, but just now allow your hand, be it starting with a dot on the page, be it starting with just a line, or even writing out at the beginning, I don't know what today holds. Maybe it holds for me to look deeper within. What is within me in this moment? Peace, love, fear, joy, whatever it is. I want to reach it now in this moment as I breathe in and out like a butterfly floating across the yard. I mean, even with that, you can just allow yourself to speak on the paper. Allow yourself, give yourself that permission to do so, to find that joy that we had when we were younger, when I had the crayons, that joy, that innocence. And we all still have it in us. We do.
There are so many wonderful techniques that you're sharing, giving us so many tools and ideas. And I thank you so much for being a part of this, Elva, for sharing your wisdom.
Oh,
How
thank
can
you,
people
Whitney.
connect with you? What is your website?
Yeah, I do have a website, Elva Anderson, ELVA ANDERSON.com. And they can go there and connect with me through that. They can also look at the website. It's a work in progress. I'm not a techie person. I'm more of a one-on-one person, but I do think that it's important to connect any way we can. Maybe if someone has um, access to the laptop or computer, they can always go to this American Art Therapy Association that we do have. There's a drama association that's out there, as well as dance and music associations. They can Google those things and find something within their state or country, city that they're in, and look for someone closer if they need someone to talk to, or Google art therapy, artist therapy, laughter yoga. They can Google all these different things, and there's so much out there. And it's funny you said that, because the other day I was going to a little shop and I saw this, and it was just a mindfulness coloring book. I thought it was so cute, and it's anti-stress art therapy for busy people. So I picked it up. It was a couple of dollars. Matter of fact, it was marked down. But it's art as therapy. It may not be you doing the art, but you can find some color pencils or markers or even ballpoint pens of different colors and just use it as a time kind of just to color in these things, as well as Zentangle. And Zentangle is Zentangle. And that's when you just kind of do like doodles and they connect. And I don't know if you've done that before, but it's so much fun. And it's fun to do with yourself and others, you know. So much is out there. I mean, just be creative. You can be innovative and come up with your own stuff. And that's what I love about art, you know? You could take a pan, you could take a can, you can take a drum, anything that has a book, and just make a rhythm with others. And so my whole approach is that you can look and see what's around you, utilize it to the best of your ability, and maybe change what it's really purposed for and just make it into something else to bring a sense of joy, a sense of value to the moment.
Thank you, Elva. I really appreciate all these wonderful ideas. We have so much to work with to enhance our creativity, to work through these times. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you and take care.